There's other ways to get attention, guys. You don't need to do stuff that puts yourself at risk.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And he's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, coming to you with my pearl handle pistol cufflinks, supported by our content genius behind the camera, Michael Rivers. Today we're reacting to I Crashed My Plane. Now, this is Trevor Jacob. He's a YouTuber. But before we get to that, this is brought to you by eSign.com. eSign.com, a very effective way to remotely do business. So let's say, for example, that you just crashed an airplane and now you're under the hot, burning lights of the federal government and you need a lawyer fast. So what do? You contact your lawyer. He sends you a document, e-sign, because if it's not e-sign, no one signs. And you download the app. You get 3 free signatures a month. And you don't just use it for this. I mean, I use it for when clients are out of town or they can't come to the office. But eSign.com is a very effective way to remotely do business. All right, so this Trevor Jacob, he crashed his airplane about a year ago. And he just recently pled guilty to interference with a federal investigation. Let's watch the video, and then we'll come back and we'll kind of analyze what kind of sentence he's looking at. What I noticed right away is that it is a bare bones airplane. I don't know what kind of airplane this is, but it's and then you've also got all kinds of you can see all the different angles in this. So it's a highly recorded event. And this is all staged, 100% staged. He's got his parachute on, and normally you wouldn't have your parachute on. And then you can see that the door to the airplane is slightly ajar. So it's highly staged, and when we do things for effect, and the whole purpose for him doing this is to increase his views, for his YouTube. And he got a lot of views, but he's going to pay a price for it. You can actually glide quite a ways without any kind of power going on.
Holy I'm over the mountains, get out of Asia now.
And other people have noticed that he doesn't make any call for help or anything like that. You know why? Because he doesn't want anybody to know that he's crashing intentionally. Now, to intentionally stage a crash like this wreaks havoc with your pilot's license. Everything is absolutely meticulously recorded. The whole idea is to actually watch an airplane crash and see what happens when it crashes. So if you're really in an emergency, are you going to be grabbing your selfie stick? Probably not. Remember what I said about self-snitching? This is exactly what this is. This is 100% self-snitching video. And I'll tell you why at the end. He probably could have landed this thing, even if the engine did go out. He probably could have landed it on a road or something. So highly documented. Every last little bit of this is documented. So anybody that's got any expertise in the area of aviation would be able to see through to see that this is actually a staged event.
Get me out of this. Get the off of me. Come on. Come on. Get the fuck out of here, you mother. Dude. Holy shit. Holy fucking
He's a pretty good actor, I have to say.
shit.
20
I
minutes
guess I
later.
should probably document what's going on. I cut my finger pretty bad. Got my elbow. I'm just so happy to be alive. I'm just kind of taking in what just happened. Well, where the hell am I gonna land a freaking plane? I'm gonna die. That's why I always freaking fly with a parachute. No phone service. I'm climbing.
But you did have radio service.
Oh my gosh.
One of the things that, you know, from a public safety standpoint that the authorities are looking at, number one, you've got somebody in distress and somebody crashes. So you're putting others at risk to go rescue you, right? So you have, you know, first responders, helicopters, whatever, and you're creating a hazard where one didn't need to be.
I spot the plane. I see it down there. Oh my god. Oh. Wow. Wow. Holy.
This part of the video is kind of important because it shows that he knows exactly where the plane is, right? So and that comes into play just a little bit.
Oh. There's literally nothing. No anything. No water. I had a water jug in the back.
And he didn't have a whole lot more than that. If you remember, look at the plane. It was pretty bare bones. That's, I mean, you kind of get the idea. So what he did later was, it was reported to the FAA, and he ultimately got charged with interference with a federal investigation, partly because he lied to the federal investigators about where the plane was. Now, you've seen some video clips of news reports that he's facing a maximum of 20 years. Whenever you hear that, whenever you hear on the news they're facing a maximum of blah, 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 that's not the real sentence. That's just the maximum possible penalty, and generally speaking, they don't get that. I looked it up. I think he pled guilty to 18 U.S.C. 1510, which is interference with a federal investigation. And one of the things he did, he said he messed with the plane afterwards. Tried to didn't tell him where it was, or told him he didn't know where it was, and then tried to hide it later. What happens when you do that is you are lying to federal officials and you're impeding an investigation. And if you're moving the property or destroying evidence, you're adding insult to injury on your sentence. So if we look at the federal guidelines, starts out at a level 14, and let's assume he's got 0 criminal history score. Then you enhance it by 2 points because it involved the destruction of property. Then then if he pled guilty, which he did, then you take 3 points away for acceptance of responsibility. You take that off. So 3 levels down. So now he's looking at a level 13, which is approximately 12 to 18 months. So here's kind of what he's going to go through. So you go in, you enter a plea, and there's 2 things about a plea. One is the waiver of your rights. You have to waive your right to trial and all the different rights that come along with that. Then you have to lay what's called a factual basis. Tell the judge what you did was wrong. He's going to have a felony on his record, and I guarantee you that his pilot's license will be yanked if he had one. So then what happens is he goes to probation. Probation does a pre-sentence report, and they look at his background. They take all the factors regarding his criminal history, his family, his medical, psychological, employment, and look at the offense itself and if he's got any remorse or acceptance of responsibility, that kind of thing. And then the probation department comes up with a sentencing recommendation. And in this case, it's going to be between 12 and 18 months. That's what my calculation of these guidelines are. So, and this is just stupid because he got, 4 million views on this? I mean, is that worth it? Is that worth a felony on your record? No, unless he already had one. And if he already had one, then the guidelines will be higher. Even if he had a DUI. You know when the federal government looks at a DUI as one criminal history point? I mean, it's the same as a felony. It's a dangerous crime. So if you are doing something stupid like this in order to gain some notoriety or views, you know what we've done on our channel? We've just built it over time. We're over 900,000 subscribers, and we've just built. We're not doing anything crazy or stupid. Do we have some kind of crazy language in some of the stuff we do? A little bit, maybe. The rap videos or the Andrew Bogoitate, But we don't break any laws. I don't put myself at risk. I'm not going to put my son's life at risk. We don't do stupid things. The stupid thing that he does is he has no clue as to where this airplane's going to land. I mean, he has some idea because he launched it in that direction. But if he were to kill somebody, he would be looking at a much different scenario. He could be looking – I don't think he'd be looking at life because it's more of a negligent type of thing. More like a manslaughter type because he wasn't trying to kill anybody. But if somebody died, the enhancement would be huge. Would be absolutely huge. So you take that and you take the risk that you put rescuers at, and just the whole scenario is a highly risky proposition. Apparently, the premise for the video was that he was going to go spread his buddy's ashes over this mountain. And then it just all of a sudden prop stopped. The good thing going for him is that it's in California, a little more liberal jurisdiction, but he's going to have a felony for the rest of his life. He's going to be barred for ever owning a firearm or possessing a firearm. And once he gets out of prison, if he does go to prison, he will be on supervised release for at least 1 to 3 years, which means you're on probation. And so you just don't, it's just the risk reward. I mean, I think this is a great idea. Look what we're going to do, and yeah, it got a lot of views, but look what you're having to do now. Now the government's in your life. You can't get the government out of your life. So I just wanted to, this is kind of a little bit of a PSA from our perspective, because, we can do all kinds of things. You see some of these crazy things people do on TikTok, do on YouTube in order to get attention. There's other ways to get attention, guys. You don't need to do stuff that puts yourself at risk. So that's just been our reaction to I crashed my airplane. And, let's just hope he lands on his feet, for lack of a better word. We'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers with our content genius, Michael Rivers. See you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, sign up for Patreon, and we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming